In general, the less experienced an intern is, the more feedback they will likely need to feel comfortable and progress in their learning. Feedback should be direct, specific, frequent, and include positive and critical feedback. The intern should know when you are giving feedback and what your expectations are. You should give specific examples of what they did well and what they could improve upon. Base this on what you saw and give specific instructions on what they could do differently. Instruct them on how to do things. The feedback should also be happening regularly throughout the placement, potentially after each task, appointment, chart note, meeting, etc. This will depend on your practice area and what works for you. Feedback for a novice intern should include both positive and critical feedback. Novice interns don't know what's going well and what they need to improve upon. They need to hear both the good and the not so good so that they can improve. Let's look at an example of giving feedback to a novice intern. In this example, the intern was asked to collaborate with a staff member. You noted these behaviors. The intern brought up the topic immediately to the staff member. The intern did not introduce themselves. The intern gave appropriate information to the staff member. The intern was clearly nervous during the interaction and was fidgeting. The intern was unable to answer the staff member's questions and deferred to the preceptor. Let's look at an example of poor feedback in this situation. Poor feedback could be indirect and non-specific. For example, a preceptor giving poor feedback might say, "Some interns don't realize how awkward they are when speaking with staff." This is poor feedback because it is indirect, referring to some interns instead of being open and directing the comment at the person for whom it is intended. It is also not specific. In what ways was the conversation awkward? How could it be less awkward? An example of good feedback in this situation would be, "I'd like to offer you feedback on your conversation with the staff member. It was great that you brought up the relevant topic early in the conversation, but you forgot to introduce yourself to them. Next time, start with an introduction. The information you provided was accurate and you used an appropriate tone, so great job on that part. I could tell you are nervous because of your fidgeting. It would be helpful in the future to try not to fidget so you appear confident. It is okay that you didn't have all the answers this time, but now you've heard my answers to those questions. What further questions do you have for me so that you have all the answers for next time?" This feedback is direct, saying, "I'm going to offer you feedback," or "Can I give you some feedback?" are the most direct ways of making it clear to the intern that your next comments are feedback related. This feedback is very specific. It clearly described a variety of elements of this conversation: timing, accuracy, tone, content, like an introduction, and body language, in this case, fidgeting. Not only did it identify those specific behaviors, but the feedback for improvement was instructive and tells the intern what the preceptor expects during the next opportunity. Next time, start with an introduction. Try not to fidget. You have all the answers for next time. This feedback includes both positive and critical feedback. What went well? Bringing up the topic early, accurate information, appropriate tone. It clearly described what needed to be improved upon, introduction and fidgeting. Mixing positive and critical feedback can help critical feedback to be accepted so that students don't feel like they're only making mistakes. That positive feedback also makes a big difference. Before I wrap up this video, I do want to note that the phrasing, "a novice intern," is a very general statement. In actuality, each skill is independently evaluated, so it is possible for interns to be novice in some skills, advanced beginner in others, and competent in others. Keep this in mind as you notice what skills or areas of practice your interns need more specific feedback and instruction. There may be different tactics for different skills. Thanks for watching this Preceptor Skill Snack.